Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM24 Yeti, episode number 33. We are at the Volta Algarve, and it is stage 4 of 5. We have a very different objective here than what we are used to. Yeah, it's still a pro race. We still have one more pro win to go. And obviously, I would like to get that pro win out of the way. It's the only objective of that sort that we will have this entire season. But beyond that objective, the reality right now is this is a sponsor objective. And it's a sponsor year. And so for the long-term sake of the series, I am focused much more heavily on what we need to do to have a very strong sponsor evaluation. And for this one, it's a top 10 overall GC objective. There's been 2 sprint stages so far that haven't impacted anything, but there was one big climbing stage at the end of last episode that saw us get a very good finish against a very strong field, and we got a 5th place with Panamar. And our main guy, the stronger time trialist, and you'll know why in just a second on that one, Hagland. Well, Hagland is 14th, minute 42 down. But Panamar is about a minute down, and he's got a half-minute cushion on those outside of the top 10. But then Hagland is right there in the mix for that. But he's in that 10 seconds off the top 10. That being said, stage 5 is a shorter end time trial, and that will disrupt the standings quite a bit. This, with 17k to go here, and a lot of it downhill, and still a little bit of a gap to the front guys. I need to get our train on the go here, but Zhu and Hallinan are done, so we are down 2 riders already. There's a little bit of a downhill. We're about to crest and then drop. I want to be in position before that, so probably one more bend here. And yes, yeah, because there's the drop. So 5 riders set to go. Shui going first, having to make his way forward a little bit. We are also a little bit absent. Panamar, who is riding solo, slipped back a little bit. Now there's just 4 riders left off the front. Minute and a half is not going to be an easy catch with just 11k. Shu and Hallinan hanging in there. That's good for them, but not in position to actually affect anything. Panamar has reached the group, but he's at the tail end of it right now. Oh, there we go. Panamar. Zipinati. Zipinati has made it into position. Pickrell is in position, so we're okay. 9.5k left to go. Now it's just a 1-minute gap, and we're starting to split off the field. In fact, we split it off big time now. Just 38 riders in the peloton. Let's go 99, Shui. 7.7k. The final climb is 2.3 kilometers. Average of about 10%. Is done. On a Pickrell. 25 seconds to catch those guys, so it is a done deal after all. Ready. Hagland and Panamar not looking good for the final climb at the moment, but we've really hurt this field. Pickrell is done, so on to Zipinati. Yeah, 3 riders and 3k, and Pickrell get out of the back. Break that toe and we get that little acceleration. 3k. Here we go.
The riders are going through a very tough portion with percentages above 10%.
First part's pretty steep. It's going to level off again, and then start to ramp back up after this left. 99. 1.7. Zipinati. Oh, Hagland. Hagland starting to go. 1.3k. Hagland. Panamar. Let's go, Panamar. He's out of red bar. He's out of red bar. But Foss is going to get... No, maybe not. Oh, this is back and forth. Here comes Roglic. Roglic has us. Foss takes the win. Foss takes the win. That was so close there. But Panamar gains 6 more seconds. And we got a small group at the front with likely time gaps ahead of us. Hagland is... I would bet you there's the first gap right there. 15 riders, and then Hagland in 16th, and then a small group there, and then definite gaps to the other groups. Zipinati 23rd. That's what I expect. And that is exactly what happened. We've seen it time and time again, especially when it's us. If we are the ones opening the gap, they'll give it every time. When it's not us, that gap often doesn't show up, right? Potamar takes second, gets the 6-second bonus. Haglund loses 17 more seconds, setting him back a little bit further. Zippinati was at 31, and then gaps start to open fairly quick. Ayuso, the race leader, lost 31 seconds. Whoa, buddy. Ayuso still leads, but suddenly the gap is significantly smaller. He was comfortable in that stage, too. More set to... he's a decent puncher. I have no idea how he lost time there. It makes no sense. But he did. So, hey, I'll take it. Lucha Brooks in second. Potamar jumps from 5th to 3rd with Glog losing time. Same time, though, between them, and Glog is definitely a better time trialist. Johannesson also slipping down to 5th. Vingegaard is 6th. Voss, Martinez, Roglic, Del Toro, and exactly 1 minute behind is 10th. Haglund actually gains a position, 13th, now 128 down. Somebody like a Venepul, Roglic, they're going to do really good times. On that time trial, it's going to be hard to compete with them. I expect stage 5 to have us go backwards, not up. Haglund's a little bit better time trialer than Potamar, which was why I was wanting to ride for him, but Potamar's just stronger as a climber, and it made sense. And he had better form. Zippinati actually also in the top 20. But healthy gaps back there. Not much of a threat from these guys from about J Vine down. Quick check-in, first 3 riders out on the course. Zhu is a really bad time trialist, and I undervalued the effort that he could possibly put in, so he's had a really poor time trial. 7 minutes lost. Hallinan started a bit weak. We definitely picked it up, and even then, he is not getting the time we are going to hope for there. That's going to be a pretty weak time, 76th, but 4:11, definitely better. Up to an 82 there. Shui has already set off. I need to get him set. He's gone out the box well, but let's get this organized. We'll put him at, I think, an 81. Pickrell was at an 80 pretty much throughout, and that's turned out to be less effort than what he would be capable of. So he could have gone harder than an 80. We're going to try an 81 with Shui, trying to get it locked in for the final 3 guys. Pickrell gets to the line, 107th, 519 down. I haven't deviated from the 81 for Shui, and while he was a little bit negative on pace with a little descent towards the end, it eases off, and you can see he is going to make it to the line with just a little bit of energy left just before Zippinati goes, and sets our best time so far, even though Shui was a pretty bad time trialist. So that's an okay time. But that's 4 minutes losses for somebody who has a 67 today. Casper Asgreen goes top of the charts with a 26-24. Here's Zippinati ready to set off. He is a little bit weaker. I think I'm going to set that 80 for him. Quite a bit weaker, actually. Base 59 time trial. At this distance, at 24.4K, it's almost a 100% ratio on it being time trial and prologue not being used at all. It's already a 1 minute gap just down to 6th place. That's how quickly time spreads. By the time you get outside the top 20, it's a minute and a half. So Zippinati already a minute and a half down by the first time check. That's how weak of a time trialist he is. We will kind of ignore him from here, though, as Haglund and Potamar are going to get the attention. And Haglund, oh, he's got a negative race day condition. He's supposed to have a +2. He has not had one good draw. He had a negative in day 1 or a 0 in day 1. It was like a -2. In that last stage, he had a -1 to his race day condition draw. He's got a -4 today. A -4 draw, but luckily his time trial rating itself is not impacted, but his stamina, his climbing ability, both are, and it will slow him down a little. He's 52 seconds down at the first time check. Zippinati and his 80 is holding in there. Let's go ahead and give him an 81 now. In fact, let's just go 82, because there is that descent to come. Hagland and his 81 is actually hanging in there just fine. I think you can give him an 82 at least part of the time. So we need Ponemar to have a good race day condition, and he does. He's got a very good race day condition. So Ponemar is the leader, rightfully so, race day condition wise. Both of them had expected +2s, but Ponemar got better draws day by day by day. Get him out of the box, get him settled in, get him up to speed. He's at 48 kilometers an hour, so settling in. I think we can hold an 82 because Hagland's holding an 82. In fact, Hagland can start pushing a little bit harder. Give him an 85 right now. Push here on the flat. He was already 3 minutes down at the second check. There's only 12 riders behind him, so he's 91st at that point. Okay, up to a 87. Zippinati was 144th, 638 down, by the way. Of course, without any micromanaging the finish. It was bound to be worse for him. 89 for Hagland here as we go onto the 1K banner. He's about to get passed by the rider behind him, which is not a good sign. 68, 349 down. Yeah, that's not a very good time at all. Not a very good time. Ponemar, meanwhile, though, looking a little better. He was 43 seconds down the first. Remco Evenepoel just took the top time. Jay Vine is third. We know both of them were up there. Kamna was up there. No new names showing up on the top 20 at the moment until somebody just did. Martinez, half a minute down. Start pushing an 86. 210. Yikes. 210. That's a lot of time loss. That is a lot of time loss we are facing. Another rider goes into the top. Vingegaard goes 6th. Roglic is 9th. Foss is 12th. 2 kilometers left for the guy who sits 3rd overall but is very clearly going to go backwards by a fair bit. He was only 24 seconds down on the overall, but he is going to be well behind that now. 48th, 243 down. But that's 1 minute off of the top 20. So it's not that big of a gap to a lot of riders, but a lot of those key GC guys are right there in the top 14. Ayuso, 14th on the stage. Evenepoel takes the stage. Let's get the results, though. Oh, are you kidding me? 1 second. 1 second. Vingegaard takes the win overall by 3 seconds over Martinez, and Ayuso drops to 3rd, with Evenepoel jumping to 4th after winning the stage. Comes up 7 seconds short of the win himself. And then Foss, Roglic, Del Toro, Lucha Brooks drops down, Johannesson drops down, Kamna the one who beats us by 1 second. We miss the top 10 by 1 second. We fail. We fail the first objective. Hagland drops to 17th. We had the wrong guy with the race day condition bonuses throughout as Ponemar versus Hagland. Hagland's the better time trialist. They're similar otherwise. So Hagland is the guy that we needed to have the race day conditions that Ponemar got day by day. And if they were flipped, if it was Hagland in 3rd, and then had the race day condition bonus that Ponemar had, starting with a +3 on time trial head to head, and then get the +4 time trial rating that Ponemar had, that would have been enough. That would have been enough. We easily would have had that 1 second with a +3 rating. In fact, I think we would have been 9th, right? We would have been ahead of Johannesson. Wow. It literally doesn't get any closer than that. Final ranking as a team was 6th place. All 5 World Tour teams. And we beat quite a few World Tour teams. This was a very stacked race with 9-10 World Tour teams at it. Tough field, tough race. We performed really well, and we come up 1 second short. We're in Spain. GP Miguel Indurain, the 5-time winner of the Tour de France. Pickrell struggling to keep up here. Group is thinning. 104 riders left in the peloton. Hagland not following directions very well either. He was up there and fine. Joey went to get water and went so far back that he ended up dropped by default from the group. He's still going to try to get up there, but it looks like he's not going to succeed at doing so. And no, he's out. Having a mess with some of my riders. There's a lot of fatigue in the legs. So our objective for this race, and Haglin's going to have to get the water now. Our objective for this race is a top 10 finish. I have set up most of the riders on the squad today for the objective and fitness peak for this one to give them that boost in the race day condition. And it's not going terribly well. Pick roll got dropped at about 70k and couldn't get back in contact. He took Zhu with him as Zhu was protecting him. And then to get water, we've had some issues, and now Abdullah is the latest. We're down to 3 guys, basically, here with 27k to go. And a breakaway of 11. That's still 30 seconds ahead. A very, very high tempo on this stage, and a lot of like quality riders in this field. 24k, and Haglund is struggling. He's about to get dropped. There's a little descent coming, so he might get back up there. I think Panamar is going to get covered on the water. I'm not sure he's going to get all the way up to Zipinati, but Panamar is still looking good and has a +4. He's looking pretty strong as we're seeing little splits, and now 6 riders are off the front. 47 left here in the chase group as we head into the final sequence. 3 climbs back to back to back, and Haglund is done. Haglund finished the water, and he is toast. So Zipinati, 14k. I need him to start riding, and Panamar needs to follow. Okay, those guys we have made contact with, but this is still where all the action's going to happen. So Zipinati to lead it out. This one is 3.4 kilometers, 5.7%, but then we've got 2 more climbs after it. I don't need anyone else placed high. It's a single stage classic here today. So all I need is Panamar to still be in a decent position. Down to 37. Down to 36. Zipinati is done, so on to Panamar. I would totally attack this thing, but no, that's okay. Not now. 24. We're cresting, otherwise I would have sat up.
The riders are entering the last 10 kilometers of the stage.
13. There we go. That's what we were aiming for. So we split the field off. 11 chasers. Castrillo, who I'm watching the highlight for stage 15, and he's at that moment. It's paused. At the moment, he's attacking the last couple kilometers in the lead for second day, and just a couple. Stage 15 of La Vuelta, that is. Okay. Secondary climb, penultimate climb. Yates trying to attack. I'm not too worried about Yates going here, though. Obviously, I still want to be in contention, potentially for the win. But now we're down to 12, but Panamar down to 11. One more rider to get dropped. One more rider to overcome, but we need this last little ounce of energy as 3 guys go clear, do they? 2k from the finish, but it's a downhill descent. Come on. Don't be the 11th place guy. Don't be the 11th place guy. Come on, Panamar. 1k from the finish. 1k from the finish. We are definitely not going to get the win. 400 meters. Buitrago takes the win. All I got to do is beat these guys behind me. Just one of them. Just one of them. At least get me the objective, and he will. He will. Okay. Right. I was not first of the group, but I was not 4th of those guys coming together. Apparently Panamar does not know how to throw, because those guys took it. I suppose I wasn't necessarily attacking there at the end, so that could have been the difference to get that 1 millimeter that Pigazzoli and Guerrero got, because Hessman had it. Hessman seemed to, he was furthest ahead, but I was pretty confident that Panamar was second of the group. Should have been 8th on the stage. We got 10th, though. We got 10th. That's what we needed. Sponsor happy. after the disappointment of the last one of being 11th, that was incredibly unlucky here. We just get there, and it's Simon Yates who tried to attack and go all gung-ho that we were able to beat to the line to secure that top 10. Last couple of races, field's been really strong. Multiple riders with an 80 in either that mountain or the medium mountain or the hills or more than one of those ratings. Ponemar's got a 74 in the hills, even with the +5 bonus for a +4 race day condition. He's still not at their level. Plus, the extreme bonus of about a +4 on top of an 80. So it's they're talking 84 territory. We're a ways behind trying to compete. That's not counting the race day condition bonuses either. So it takes a month after you see a decrease or increase in potentials before you see the web itself altered and changed and reformed anew. And here it is, Grunland, who's dropped to a 4-star potential down to really just capability in sprint left. This is awful compared to what it was. So Grunland is going to be a huge bust. He's got one more year on his contract that we're going to have to suffer through. But without a doubt now, Grunland, who has claimed one of our victories, I believe. Yes, he has. In fact, one of our more recent ones back in episode 28. That's probably going to be it for Grunland, especially now that we're in a new season. We have more depth and some better riders, and the additions of like Pickrell. Grunland might end his career with one victory, or at least end his career with our team with just one victory. Same can be said of Gastein. Gastein is somebody we just brought in that I was very optimistic about, and this is the first of a 3-year deal. He was a new signing, brand new signing with plenty of potential, and now he looks very much like Grunland. He's got room to grow into what's left of the web, but it's not going to be good. We're definitely going to want to focus on probably his Baradur rating now, switch him off sprinter, and turn him into somebody who's going to have a good flat rating to do some lead out work, because that's all he's ever going to do. He's never going to be our sprinter now. He had a pretty solid rating previously, but definitely not at this point. Well, that race is going to, with Miguel Indurain behind us and that success, it's going to push us all the way into the back half, 3 weeks into April, before we see our next race. And that one, of course, is going to be stage race, 8 stages, Presidential Cycling Tour of Turkey. The objectives that I have set for this one has been on the minor end, because we've had, our primary guys, our best guys, were set up for a race like that one, which we needed. That was a difficult race. That was a high quality field. Turkey, as we've seen, because we were there previously, a little bit less so, less depth, not as strong, but at the same time, because of the overlap of objectives and what that would do to us, most of the guys, 5 of them anyway, are going to be the reserves, the up and coming, the developing guys. And that means we only have 2 slots remaining for some better riders. I think I'll take a look at that profile and see who we want to bring in. But in terms of days raced, so far Zhu, Pickrell, and Abdullah are looking like they probably need a break. So if I'm going to bring in 2 leaders, it should be coming from either a Hagland, a Ponemar, or a Zipanati. 2 out of those 3 anyway. And I'll have to break down which 2 are best for the profile of what we're aiming for. I suppose that does mean that Grunland and Chang and Lewers will be sprinting for us, with Sofia and Gutstein doing some lead-out work. That's largely a sprint team right there, and that's not for leaders. There are 5 sprint stages, so maybe, just maybe, we need to bring in 2 sprinters, but I don't want to bring in Zhu and Pickrell on already 18 days of racing. However, if they have no other racing for the next month, I suppose, might be okay. Maybe I'll do some manual work on our calendar here. That is going to do it for this episode, though, on Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.